Morning now to John in Southend. Good morning to you, John.
Morning.
Is it looking beautiful and sunny in Southend this morning?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it? It really is a beautiful morning. Now, what have you got for our A to Z, John?
Nuclear veterans.
Nuclear veterans. And why are you thinking of those in particular, John?
Well, all four services were used as guinea pigs out in the Pacific.
Yeah.
And there's not many of us left.
So you were out there, John?
Yeah.
And what was your experience? Do you like to talk about it, or is it something that you try to kind of put to one side?
No, I'll talk about it.
Yeah, and what happened, John?
We were sent out there allegedly to build a camp. We lived in tents. When they tested the bombs, we were sat in a central area and with your back to the bomb. And when the bomb went off, you had your hands over your eyes and your eyes closed. When the bomb went off, you could see the bones in your hand.
My goodness.
And many, many blokes have died through cancers and various other illnesses. Many were not able to have children. Many of the children are born with health problems, deformities, right? And every government brushes it under the table.
Do you feel that you are the true forgotten people, John?
Pardon?
Do you feel that you're the truly forgotten ones?
Oh, yeah. It's a case of, thank you, lads, you've done your job, now go away.
Did it have any long-term consequences for you, John?
Only a slight back problem. But my son has been diabetic since the age he was 4, type 1 diabetic, right? My granddaughter suffers with joint problems. It goes down in generations. I think about 5 generations, and it should clear the family.
And of course you would have had no idea of that at the time.
Oh, no. Every day we were sprayed with DDT, which is a banned substance, right, because of mosquitoes. You know, it's just something that they wanted to do, they done it, and now, all right, lads, go away.
And you mentioned saying you're the forgotten people, forgotten by governments. Do you think the rest of us forget, John? Because we've talked today about, when we say the armed forces, you think of Army, Navy, RAF, but there are so many different things going on, so many different factors that we tend to lose sight of.
Yeah, I was in the Army, yeah, right? But there are organisations that do help us. There's the British Nuclear Test Veterans, which are very good. There's the Nuclear Community Care Fund, which is very good. They supplied me with a mobility scooter, stair lift, and rise and recline chairs. There's Lab Rats, which is an international organisation, and they're in touch with veterans all over the world. But, when you come to the governments of this country, they just don't want to know. The other man is paying out compensation, right? All the countries have got some sort of recognition or help for their nuclear veterans, except this country.
It's something that you feel needs to be said as often as possible.
Pardon?
It's something that you feel needs to be remembered and talked about as often as possible, really.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Politicians, very clever, they say what they think you want them to say. Right? But once you're gone, they've forgotten it.
But you will never forget. And it is a very stark reminder from John there of the many experiences that so many people have had with the armed forces. John, it was lovely to speak to you this morning. Thank you for talking to us about that and sharing your story. John there reminding us again that we're doing this A to Z about armed forces. There are so many people within every aspect of the life of the armed forces that sometimes it's easy to pass over. Sometimes it's easy to forget. You think of the really famous moments, the really big things, but there are so many different aspects that have affected so many different lives. So we will add nuclear veterans under N for John in